Sure. And I guess part of this is just like you're trying to calculate, how quickly can you get the crews back out and get the rigs back up and running. There's also this calculation of like, they can say the cities are open or the states are open, but actually how long does it take for consumers to start, demanding or consuming, right?
Yeah,
and I haven't got that answer yet.
yeah, and we can measure real-time demand, right? Like, so we were able to measure real-time electricity demand, real-time, we can see power burns every day, every minute. So we're tracking the demand pretty well, right? It's hard to forecast, like can it get worse, but we're tracking it pretty well and have a reasonable idea of what the bottom is, right? New York City's completely shut down, but it's the power demand is down 11%. So we kind of know, right? So the main thing right now is like, okay, when does this faucet become a problem, right? When does the supply issue become a problem? Right now, it's not a problem. Not a problem at all. As a matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. We have too much gas. But that switch is going to flip. And when it flips, given the current circumstances, if we stay on this path, it could be violent to the upside.
Yeah. And so what it sounds like you're really kind of highlighting here is right now you've got a surplus from a supply side. Demand has gone down a little bit, but because you realize you've got the surplus and demand's down, people are actually shutting down production, incoming supplies almost slowing. And so when that demand comes flying back, there could be a moment in time where people are caught without enough supply, and that's where the problem would come in.
Yeah, like people are just cutting their production and associated production. So, these guys, also the break-even cost on a well has changed, right? If you look at the interest costs, drilling is a leveraged business, right? And, there's been studies done in the Marcellus, like what are the break-evens at different interest rates? But if you look at like the cost of capital for the drillers, they basically have doubled on average. So I don't know if the price break-evens, get you what you want, the supply you want. And so that's another thing I'm looking at. But generally right now, I say there's things like there's tweezer trades where you have to be really accurate and really nuanced and know every single little detail, and there's sledgehammer trades. Huge macro thing is happening. You don't need all the details. You have enough room for error. You just pile it, right? And I think the further we get in time, this goes from tweezers to sledgehammers.